Hello and welcome to a video that has pretty much been 4 years in the making, kind of. I'm Kate Sculpts, and here is the history of my progress in sculpting. Let's go back 4 years to June 2020, a peak moment of COVID. It was my sister's birthday coming up and I was watching a lot of Ace of Clay, if you know who he is, so I decided to sculpt her a badger. She's a Hufflepuff, so, hence the obscure animal. This marked the beginning of one of the biggest turning points in my entire life, sculpting. I was only 13 at the time, so it was basic, to put it lightly, but it still sparked something deep inside of me. A raw power to start sculpting. I'm being too dramatic. Anyways, let's scrap the script and just start talking about what I have done. For example, this wand. God, I don't know why I made this, but again, my sister was very into Harry Potter, still is, and I decided to make her a wand. I also decided to make my other friend a wand. Kind of broke. You'll see in a minute. This was, my second ever sculpture, and I was really trying to experiment with texture, which is difficult when you don't really have many tools on your hands. So, can't say that they came out very textured or very well, and the shapes were basic. It wasn't smoothed out at all, very lumpy and bumpy. Ugh, I disagree. My eyes are not very fond of that. And of course, frogs. I have made many frogs in my time, maybe like 5 or 6, which might not seem like a lot over 4 years, but considering the fact that most of my things that I do are completely different from one another, making a bunch of frogs is very different for me. They're very lumpy. Very, very lumpy. Again, still don't know how to smoothen things out back then. What is wrong with me? And then also another thing for my sister. Look, I make a lot of things for my sister. Were kind of all of her favourite animals into one sculpture. Again, very early on. Not very good at animals. Now, I didn't lose it, but I don't have any pictures of this one. It was a little penguin that I decided to draw just because it's cute. There are a few in this video that just don't show up that I did make and that you probably won't ever see because I've lost photos of them, but that penguin in particular I really liked, so I just kind of wanted to visualize it. I know it doesn't really matter and it's not really relevant, but I I put it in there anyways because I wanted to draw something, because I'm not very good at drawing and I need to improve. I was experimenting with coloured clay here because, never done that before. My mum decided to do some sculpting and she bought some coloured clay and then she didn't like it, so I took it. And I've been using it ever since. Well, not really ever since. I've used it like 3 times for the span of 4 years. But, there are a few moments in this video where you just see a picture of them because I don't have them on me. For example, this boat. There have been many boats in my time. Lots and lots of boats because I love making boats. I don't know what's my obsession with boats, but I love boats. Also, this haunts my dreams. You ever seen Labyrinth? That worm? My mum swears by the fact that she loves this, but gosh, I hate it. It's terrifying. It gives me nightmares. Especially those eyes that follow you. Gives me the chills. Anyways, Dwight from The Office. This little bobblehead. It was actually a bobblehead, but then it got damaged in transport, so I kind of had to glue it down. And there is still a piece of metal, as a spring in there, which is unfortunate. Hopefully one day I'll be able to make it a bit better and make it springy. There are a few sculptures over the years that I have had to scrap. For example, Angie from Resident Evil 8 and also the seamstress from my favourite movie ever, 9. Oh my gosh, please go watch it. These two have been broken for different reasons. For example, Angie, it just didn't go very well, so I decided to scrap it. And then the seamstress, my cat sat on it. Yes, Tabitha, channel mascot. Yeah, she sat on it and smushed it. Thank you, Tabitha. I had to scrap it because of you. It was one of my favourites from back then. If only I finished it, but I couldn't. It's got knocked off the table. Silly kitty. Anyways, this is the GCSE period. Now, if you're American, you probably won't know what GCSEs are. You might do, but I don't know. Or even any other part of the world. I don't know how many countries have GCSEs, but pretty much it's just final exams for 15 and 16-year-olds, in school, and this was, for all of my art stuff. This was year 1 of that, so I was around 14 or 15 at the time when I was making these. This one in particular was actually a artist study. I can't remember the artist's exact name, but I know that she is called Phoenix Cry Studios on Instagram. Pretty much I just tried to adapt to her style. Didn't go very well, but I still really like how this one looks. It's kind of like a Wendigo sort of thing. And my final piece for that year was this. Ooh, weird, very weird. I think the theme for this year was like fantasy animals and stuff, something like that, I don't know. So, you know, I made a jackalope with fairy butterfly kind of wings and mushrooms in its ears reaching up to a giant thing. I don't know, it's like a flower that's hanging upside down. It was a weird one. I also used fur. I think that's one of the only times where I've already used fur on a sculpture. Came out okay. Couldn't really get the fur to all go in the same direction though. And then this was year 2 of, you know, the GCSE period. If you couldn't tell already, I have made many boats in my time. This one was too big to get off my desk, so, bad lighting. It was my final piece for that year, you know. Anyways, post-GCSE, I don't even want to remember my GCSEs anymore. This was kind of that period where I had, like, you know, a few months off. I just kind of did my own thing. I didn't really have to do anything in particular, so I made just a few random things. For example, Bob for Halloween, actually. I made this, yeah, for a little Halloween party. Can't remember what kind of Halloween party, but it was a Halloween party. And also Phyllis from The Office. That's the second thing that I've made from The Office, I think. I don't know, maybe I've made something else. Who knows? But, yeah. I think this came out okay. Yeah, you know, it's just a little wooden Phyllis, if you've ever seen The Office. I also made this for my dad's Starbug. Oof. Look, I don't watch Red Dwarf, but I love Starbug. It's so cute. Oh my gosh. Look at it. Like, come on. If you watch Red Dwarf, you know, tell me if you like it. It's very old, quite damaged a little bit actually, quite scratched up, but it was one of the first times that I used my my new airbrush on this sculpture, so it was another monumental thing for me. And then this was a plush trap. I've done quite a few things from Five Nights at Freddy's in the past, even, you know, a teeny little tiny Freddy. If that means anything to you, you know, there's a chance that you don't even know what FNAF is. That baffles me. Anyways, this was, okay, this sculpture, right? This one and the next one were 2 monumental pieces for my current day sculpting. Why? Because you see that ground texture? You know what that is? You know what that is? It's moss. Come on. If you see my other videos, you know I'm obsessed with moss, and this is where it was birthed from. This exact sculpture was when I first realised I could do moss instead of grass. What is wrong with me? Grass is stupid. Moss is much better than grass. I love moss. So I made moss. So after this, you know, I started adapting and trying to get that texture to look a bit better until the current day, which it kind of does. But yeah, these two were kind of, you know, made them one after the other in the same group. Just little, like, bookshelf thingies, I don't know. And this was, again, for my sister. A little foxy plushie, but as a sculpture, so it's like a fictional animatronic into a plushie into a sculpture. Yeah. And also Mr. Flibble from Red Dwarf as well, just like Starbug. Mr. Flibbles. I have a few memories of watching Red Dwarf kind of as a kid when my dad kind of put it on in the background, but I don't really actually remember that much about the show. Garfield. Ooh. I've made Garfield on this channel and clearly my camera doesn't like it because it's skewing the colours on the face weirdly. It doesn't look right. The nose is not pink enough. But yeah. That was the last thing that I made before moving onto YouTube. Of course, my first ever sculpture was this Displacer Beast. As you may or may not know, if you have or haven't seen the video, go check it out. It was my first ever video. It was rough. Gosh, I can't believe that I, you know, made that as my first thing. It was really weird. Don't know why I made a Displacer Beast and not the Beholder. Also, this is footage from the actual video of the Beholder. Why? Because I sold it. Oh, who would have guessed? I actually made a sale for once. Oh, sold a Beholder. That was my first ever sale. Onto the Basilisk. Now, this video didn't actually do very well on my channel, but it might actually be one of my favourites from my early stages of YouTube. I really just like the texture, the kind of grimy grossness of it. I don't know. Now, I'm just going to quickly go off somewhere else. My mind is going to wander slightly for a little bit. Because, you know, you might have seen all of these videos by now, and if you haven't, you can see them because they're on my channel. But pretty much what I just want to say is, like, I can't be here without you. You've probably realised that by now. You know, I've, in 1 year, 12 months, 1 year, I have grown over 900 subscribers. 900. That's, like, just a bit of an insane number to me. Like, because you have all of these people, you know, like Mr. Beast, who has like billions of subscribers, I don't know. But I think people don't actually realise how much even these smaller, you know, parentheses, numbers are. 900 is so much. Like, that's insane. That's insane. Is that not insane to you? Because it's insane to me. 900. Yeah. Bit crazy. But also just, you know, of course want to point out the fact that lots of you leave comments on my videos as well, and I remember every single one of you. Like, you might think, oh, I'm just going to leave this, you know, random YouTuber a little comment and she'll probably ignore it because, you know, YouTubers kind of, you know, do that sometimes. But every comment I read, whether it's, you know, just supporting me outright, whether it's giving me tips, whether it's, you know, just supporting me, it, like, blows my mind that so many people out there actually care about what I'm doing. And I've had people reach out to me, like, in DMs before. I don't understand that. Like, I never thought that I would even get to this point, and, you know, hopefully I can keep growing. And, you know, a little thing to incentivize that growing is, you know, when I get to 900 subs, I will be doing a giveaway. Who said that? I didn't say that. Who said that? Not me. Anyways, you know, subscribe. But, you know, I just, it does make me a little bit emotional. It does make me a bit weirdly upset, but like upset in a happy way, that so many people are just here and just supporting me and telling me that, you know, what I'm doing inspires them. It's just really weird to think about this kind of thing. All of you out there just watching this exact video right now, the support that you've been giving me, even just through watching my videos, even if you're not doing any other sort of interaction, I'm still grateful. I'm still, like, incredibly grateful. Because I can't be here without you. You can't be watching these videos without me, yeah, but I could not be going this far without you. I know, 900's a big number. Anyways, I'm gonna stop rambling because you're probably sick of it by now. It's weird to think that the Kragan Charter Gobbler was made for 200 of you. You know, 200 subs, and now 900. It's crazy. But also look at the difference right here between that old boat that I showed you earlier and this Kraken boat. I know I've, you know, said it a few times, but I think this Kraken boat might be one of my favourites that I have ever made. Oh, just the texture, the way that the tentacles look, the way that the waves look, the colouring of it. It's just, oof. Really nice to my eyes. I love it. I love it when a sculpture's clear, when you can kind of tell exactly what you're looking at. Yeah, for example, this one, of course. And then after that, I just decided to put a moshi monster into a more realistic style. I don't know why. I was in this kind of period when I made this, when I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sad. I need to go back to my childhood and play games I played when I was a child. Ended up playing, what, Moshling Zoo on a DS? I don't know. This was kind of the first time that I had ever tried to do fire on this one, the content warning video. Go check that one out, because at the end of that video, I don't know if any of you saw it, but there was a little Easter egg where a few clips of me and my friends playing that game. Oh, wait, there's a bomb on it. What's that? Anyways, I think it's time that I actually start talking about the improvements that I've made over the 4 years, of course. The first improvement that I've made is kind of with form. So, you know, back on those first sculptures, the badger, for example, I had no form. What was it? It was like a lump with a few legs, no neck. I don't know. I even forgot the ears on the badger. Are you kidding? Yeah, not good at form. And I've slowly improved over time. I'm still trying to work on doing people, but animals, I think I've gotten kind of a lot better at. Especially from what I used to do. God, those giraffes. I used to be quite bad at form, but now I think I've improved, which is A+. Another thing that I've improved on is the colour of things. Back on those first few sculptures, and I still really kind of do it to this day, but not as often, and I'm kind of better at it, is learning how to, well, mix colours, how to use colours, and, you know, painting in general. My painting's a lot cleaner, and also, you know, the colours are not dull, they're vibrant if I want them to be, but if I want them to be dull, they can be dull. But yeah, I'm better with colouring as well, and also placing colours, you know. You want a good balance of randomness while also not having it so random that it becomes not random and kind of weird. It's hard to explain. Another thing that I've gotten better at is texture. Back on those old sculptures, I didn't really have many tools, and even when I did, I didn't really know how to utilise them properly. The texture that I did do was shallow, it was uneven, messy, but now texture I can get and I grasp, and I dare say that I am amazing at texture. I'm not amazing, but you know, texture is something that I really enjoy doing. I like to put texture in everything, every little thing possible, just to make it, you know, a bit more interesting. It also makes painting just a little bit easier if you texture things as well, because there are different painting techniques on a flat surface than on, you know, other sort of surfaces like textured surfaces. So yeah, I do try and texture a lot. Also, I'm better at sizing. Back, you know, on those first few sculptures, I stuck to kind of one size. Nothing too crazy, nothing too giant, nothing too small, all kind of just roughly the same size. But nowadays, I can do really small, tiny, teeny little things, but also giant, heavy, bulky, textured things. You know, I've improved on that front as well, with experimenting with size. I used to just kind of stick to one thing, stick to animals, don't do anything else, but now I'm doing other things. For example, a robot from the Wild Robot. This is the first time I've ever done a robot. So experimenting and going out of my comfort zones is another thing that I've improved on. And also, I'm way better at conceptualizing my ideas, looking at how to make them, the ideas behind them, how to improve those ideas, and how to take one idea a step further. Take one idea and make it better. And sometimes it's backfired. For example, you know, that sculpture right at the beginning of my channel, with all the cats, like the big cat and the bunch of kittens. The idea for that one was there. There was a great idea that I had for it, and it just came out so wrong. The execution was horrible, and I changed the idea just a little bit too much, and it just didn't work. So, of course, you're going to have times where you're kind of going back on yourself and you're not quite sure on what you're doing, but in the end, I've improved when it comes to, you know, experimenting and also regulating the fact that I'm aware that things aren't always going to work, and it's okay to scrap something, but it's also good to keep going. If you really don't believe in something that you're doing, scrap it. But if you think that potentially there is even a sliver of a chance that you might be able to salvage it, do it. Don't ever give up unless it's absolutely necessary. With that said, I've made lots of improvements, and I couldn't have made those improvements without all of your support. Your comments. I've had lots of comments, and sometimes, you know, I say, oh, like someone's left a comment and I'm like, oh, I'll use that, and I haven't used it yet because I haven't had the time, or I haven't figured it out, or maybe it just doesn't work for me. But there are lots of comments that I've had where someone's given me a tip and I've used it to my advantage, and I've used it to actually make what I'm doing better. And that's why I love this community so much. I'm here, yes, I'm making videos saying, oh, do this, do that in sculpting. But at the same time, you guys are slapping right back at me, telling me what to do as well. And I love that. This is a community. We're all working together to be better at sculpting and art in general. And I thank you for that more than anything. Like usual, thank you for watching this far into this slightly different than usual video. I hope you enjoyed seeing all the old things little me made years ago. If you'd like to subscribe once we hit 1,000 subs, I'll be doing a giveaway. However, you do need to be a public subscriber, and more on that once we're a little bit closer to that goal anyways. I hope you all had an amazing 2024, and I wish the best for you all in the new year. I'll see you next time. I can't wait for you to see what I have next. Goodbye!